one close to your heart, I know, will be the golden goodbyes for MPs who are going to walk away. I remember doing this as a story in Scotland, because whenever there's an election, if you lose your seat, you walk away with 30 or 40,000 quid, no matter what, no matter how long you've been there for. It's effectively 4 months' money, and it says it's going to come on top of any already generous redundancy packages, which are calculated at twice the amount enjoyed by ordinary workers. So basically, if you decide not to stand, you also get the money. And this is a new parliamentary rule.
I mean, if you decide not to stand, I'm sorry, that's like saying to your employer, oh, I don't want my job anymore, give me money.
Right.
That's a bit wrong. And there's going to be a load of them standing down in the next election because they can't stand their own parties, the Tories in particular. And it does seem to me like it's a bit of, if you hate the Tories and you're stepping down at the next election, here's your hush money.
But it's interesting how these things work, because the MPs always say, oh, but it's nothing to do with us, it's all to do with this remuneration committee, as if somehow you've got no say over that, right? But it used to be 8 weeks that they would get, minus taxes and national insurance. It's now 4 months.
Do you know,
how do you double it from 2 months to 4 months?
Crazy, isn't it? I'm sort of split on this for a number of reasons. One is, if you stand for elected office, you don't have an ongoing job contract. You know, it's at the whim of the voter if you keep your seat or not, and that could be at the whim of your party leader, or, you know, you might have a very good, hard-working Conservative who's going to lose their seat at the next election because everyone hates Sunak. And so it's a difficult profession in that regard, and same with the staff of MPs' offices. 1 minute you have a job, next minute your guy didn't win his seat and you're out.
The only reason I ask you this is because people will ask it. I mean, did you get one when you left the European Parliament? Because you weren't an MEP for very long, were you?
There was sort of, if you were served your time as an MEP, you then got like a full term. I think you got paid for a whole year afterwards. And I think there was some sort of transition payments, because I remember there being big debates with the Lib Dems and the Labour Party banging it, we need our transition payments, and we're no longer... I'm like, dude, you've been earning £250,000 tax-free a year. What do you need it for?
Exactly right.
But, no, but on one hand, politics is a really unstable industry, but on the other hand, MPs have access and so much privilege to businesses, to organisations. So many have second jobs because they're in this entitled position where they can go on to be lobbyists or sit on a board and get paid 10 grand a year to, I don't know, attend a meeting. So a lot of them, frankly, have far more opportunities in the jobs market because they've held office than the average human.
And maybe as well, if you were not going to get the money because you lost your seat, for example, at an election, perhaps it would be more of an incentive if you said to them, well, if you don't win the seat, then you won't get paid off. And that way, maybe they'd work harder to win the seat.
I would go with that if we had proportional representation. But with first past the post, like I said, there are good MPs who work hard in their constituencies, but they're let down by their party. And
there is that.
It's sort of like it doesn't tend to be a personal vote always. It's a difficult one. Like I said, it's an unstable profession where, you know, 1 minute you're in, next minute you're out, and then what do you do? But on the other hand, they are in a very privileged position, and I think
they really are. Because that's an awful lot of money to get paid off with, in terms of the fact that most people don't even make that money in a year. And they're making it in 5 minutes, effectively.